above the law. In June of 2021, he signed a letter saying that he would not enforce any prohibitions on sex change operations for minors. And then most recently, after the Dobbs decision was rendered by the U.S. Supreme Court, he signed a letter saying he would not enforce any laws relating to protecting the right to life in the state of Florida. And mind you, we have had prohibition on third trimester abortions for a long time. When you make yourself above the law, you have violated your duty, you have neglected your duty, and you are displaying a lack of competence to be able to perform those duties. And so today, we are suspending State Attorney Andrew Warren effective immediately.
So to be clear, in case you're in the civics class, prosecutors don't get to make the laws. Prosecutors enforce the laws. They prosecute people for violating the laws. Legislatures make laws. Your representatives are elected by you to write into law the rules that you support. You get to create the parameters of your own society. That's called democracy. But when a prosecutor decides which laws are valid and which laws are not, that is the most basic subversion of democracy. And Andrew Warren has done that for 6 years. And by the way, the list that Governor DeSantis just read is just partial. Andrew Warren also decided that he would not enforce HB 1. That's the law that increased penalties for rioting. Warren refused to prosecute 67 BLM rioters in the summer of 2020. He said there had been no breach of the peace in Tampa when there most certainly had been. But he decided to ignore it because he agreed with their politics. More recently, Warren declined to prosecute a gang member accused of shooting into a house with children inside after shooting somebody else. Turns out the gang member was oppressed, and of course also likely a Biden voter, so he got passed. People who aren't Biden voters have had a much tougher time in Andrew Warren's jurisdiction. Sincere Christians, for example. Andrew Warren considers them criminals. 2 years ago, Warren had a Tampa pastor arrested for the crime of holding a church service. And then he bragged about it. Watch.
A defiant Florida pastor arrested for openly, blatantly violating
about a virus. It's about the church being a essential service to the community.
That's right.
Pastor Rodney Howard Brown of the River Church in Tampa is accused of ignoring local stay-at-home orders, encouraging hundreds of parishioners to show up. Howard Brown insists he was within his rights.
That's right.
Ignore the garbage news coverage. What you have here is a pastor arrested for holding a church service. This is the criminal Andrew Warren decided to prosecute, not the gang member shooting into a building with kids inside. No, a Christian minister reading the Bible in public. Now, as ABC told you, that pastor insists he's within his rights. But there's no insisting necessary in this case. It is prima facie true. If the First Amendment doesn't protect church services, it doesn't protect any. Of course, this pastor and all pastors are within their rights to preach.
Right. That's right, yes! Look at this crowd, look at this crowd. Yes. Visit.
Then, in one of the slimiest moments ever caught on videotape, Andrew Warren quoted the Christian